Funding meant for traders. MentFunding.
All right, welcome to Ment Funding. We're gonna do a quick breakdown and walk you guys through, once again, how we go through the competition winners and also how you stand a chance to actually gain a very large free account and what you can do in terms of payouts and everything when working with Ment Funding and why Ment Funding might actually be the choice for you. So in front of you, what I did is I quickly just went and grabbed a few certificates, a few payouts that we've had over the last 2-3 months, a few messages from our individual traders and what they've experienced, first time payouts, insane payouts that they never saw coming, even some tinier payouts, some smaller payouts that people were just happy to get, as well as some really large payouts over the last few months. It's been wonderful. It's been amazing to see our traders continue to succeed across multiple account sizes, all the way up to $1 million, $2 million accounts, which is just crazy. But 2026 is now coming to an end. And of course, starting the new year right, or promising to start the new year right, is much more different than actually taking an action to do so. Luckily, with the team here and the kind of competitions we run and the way that our prop firm is overall structured, you have a few ways to actually start actioning early on what your profitability is going to look like in 2026, right? One way is simply what we call the 4Q or the Q4. This is the Q4 challenge. Once again, 14 places paid. First place gets $400,000 funded account. That's a one-step account, and you can just start trading it once you win, and you can get funded and then actually get paid out. Funny enough, many or some of our payouts actually come from these wins in these accounts, because a 400K account is not anything small or anything to laugh about, right? Like these are relatively large accounts that have very large max losses associated with them that you can actually trade with, right? Like a 400,000 Forex account, your max loss is around $24,000, and simply participating in competitions and winning the competitions can lead to an account of this size that you're able to then trade. And you'll see that we actually don't have that many contestants that you have to play against, that you have to participate against when it comes to these competitions, right? Because we have a very strict process by which we choose winners, by which winners and people can actually participate, by which people actually show up on the leaderboards. So that's what I want to talk about today, right? So 2026 is coming to an end, and the best way that you can, 2025 is coming to an end, 2026 is starting. The best way that you can action it is actually by doing some of these free competitions with our team. So just participate, and it's already going to teach you a lot. Or those of you that have participated, proven yourself, and are ready to take the next step, we are, for a very, very limited time, about 20 days till Christmas on the 26th, we're running the code MENTMAS, which is valid right now for one of the largest discounts that we've done in a long time, because we want to capture a lot of the traders that are kind of ready to take the dive but may not be fully equipped or fully confident in their systems yet, to give them a chance to actually do so at a much reduced price point, even if it means no relative gain for us over the overall life cycle of the actual account. Because again, we want to bring on new members that are then going to participate in our free competitions and also stand a chance to win huge accounts. So, as a lot of you know, currently the Q4 challenge is what's active. This one is active, only 25 days more to go, and you can see the contestant numbers are actually relatively low. And the reason these are so low is because we've made huge strides in making our competitions the fairest in the entire space. We've removed duplicate accounts. We actually banned duplicate or multiple accounts. We just recently banned a wave from fully working with MentFunding entirely. People that have 10 plus, 12 plus accounts that they create to try to win the competition. So again, a lot of these competitions end up being extremely fair. We've built out leaderboard functionality, and you can read some of the rules there. But as we keep going, you can see that for this video, I want to look over the MentFunding new member competition. This was the November competition, and I want to show you once again what is actually available to you. What I mean by that is, if we look at this is the leaderboard initially. You can see rank 1, Mr. Sakshi here, with a percent return of over 123%, like insane returns. It looks crazy. You can see even a number of these names, like remember these names: Sakshi, Antonio, CJ, Beatrice. Just keep going down until you see like Jiggy. This will be an important name again, because he's actually shown up a few times over the last few competitions. But remember that name, right? Remember these names and remember these sizes. Remember these sizes of percent return. And it's going to teach you a lot about what our competitions actually look like, because even as we look at these, right, you'll see down here, there's actually 199 pages, right? That's a lot. That feels like you're participating or competing against a lot of people, which you are. But as I move over further, take a look at this. By page 17, so literally page 1 through 17, by page 17, if you notice, here it is, nobody is ranked anymore. This means that Every other trader either had a completely negative percent return or was completely disqualified from the system, from the competition to start with, right? So this is that leaderboard functionality I'm talking about. Rank 161, if you notice, had a percent return of 0.03% over this competition. That means, just to understand this, of course it's not guaranteed here, but that means that literally returning anywhere from 1 to 4% in a free competition that we hold every single month gives you the opportunity to win a completely free evaluation account up to $400,000, which normally, if you guys remember, could cost up to $3,000, right? Because again, this is a more premium firm with actual max losses, no trailing drawdowns, really fair rules, no hidden bullshit, so you can actually kind of find a firm that you can work with long term, right? But what it means is you have the capacity to win and trade one of these accounts, and the playing field, the amount of people participating is actually very, very small, because if you notice, already rank 161 is the last possible rank that might receive a prize, right? So what this simply means is if you just participate and perform, you have the capacity to win, right? So your chances for winning these accounts or winning these larger accounts is actually much bigger than you think. And the way this works is, the reason that this is the case is what wins for us and what we actually consider is these kind of four things, right? We consider, is it a good curve? And what we mean by a good curve is not, whoa, did the trader make a ton of money? The real question is, how was that curve created? Was it made up of good losses and wins? Was it made up of both? Because if it is, that's a good curve, because that means that throughout the life cycle of a trader, as he takes losses and wins, he then has the capacity to win something, right? Even in the last month, we had people that won whose curves looked like this. Right, that's it. This was their entire curve. So they were maybe at break even the entire month, but because they stuck to their rules, because they had good losses and good wins, and they were up a little bit, due to the fact that, like you can see, most people get completely disqualified, you stand to win with even tiny percent returns, right? And remember, like, look at this, right? 1, 2, 3, look at all these places, remember them again, look at these percent returns, right? And then look at the actual selection criteria where after we process just a little bit of data, where we look at what trades were just all-in gambles that were all taken at the same time, notice that the first rank was actually rank 9 on the website. And this is, I think this is my man, yeah, it is, it's Jiggy, right? And Jiggy's won a few of these before. He's actually won a few competitions because he keeps doing the same thing. He keeps showing up to these competitions and just following his rules, nice and simple, and then he ends up on the actual competition, and the first 8 places that are just kind of all-inning and don't understand that we're not looking for these kind of all-in gambles all at the same time. We're just looking for good wins and losses. He ends up taking sometimes 1 to the 14th place, and today it seems like he's going to take the first place and get a $400,000 account, but we're going to see, right? So I want you to keep that in mind as you move forward, right? So we want to see good curves made up of losses and wins. We want to see good losses. This is a weird thing for most traders to hear, right? But it's something that I want you guys to focus on. If you've been focusing on it, then you know what it means for, making money in the actual markets. And if you understand that, then, this code and actually using it and getting yourself an account is going to be very important. But good losses means that you're taking clear losses that add to the bottom line and not random gambles. What I mean by this is if your curve is like, a win, maybe a break even, maybe a nice little win, maybe even a large win, and then you have small or good loss, like minus 2K, minus 1K, minus 2K. What that indicates is that each trading idea is an actual planned out idea that is not over risked, that is not over leveraged, that is not over margined. And when you're wrong on price, it means you're stopping yourself out and allowing yourself to get out for a fraction of what the account size is. So that over time, when you have a win that's $2,000, a win that's $1,000, a win that's $1,000, a big win that's maybe $9,000, what we then see is that your losses are actually beautiful, they're clean, and they add to the bottom line, which means you're actually a profitable trader, which goes into the next step, which is that we want good drawdowns. We want traders that don't just win big, lose big, win big, lose big, maybe win even bigger, and then by the end of the thing, they're up here. This is not what we want. We want someone that wins small, maybe wins big, takes good losses, maybe goes through break even, takes good losses, takes nice wins, takes good losses, takes nice wins. Or big wins, or small wins, and then losses, and then wins, right? We want to see that every action taken is actual risk. There's actual management. There's actually the ability to say, I'm going to get out when I'm wrong, because most people can't do that. Most people are in the mindset of big trade, big loss, big trade, blow up, right, and call it a day. But that's not what we're looking for, right? That's not what trading is. And those of you that have realized that are already seeing insane performance in your account, and most of the time are actually seeing payouts nonstop over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? And of course, number 4 is no one-shot home runs that displace the curve or make it hard to determine if the trader is actually profitable. Right, we don't want to see the kind of curves where it's like, boom, oh yeah, I've traded well, because we don't know what this means. If this is a way that you trade and it makes sense to you and it works for you, and you're not over leveraged, over margin, you've read the rules in the Ment Funding evaluation with the Ment Funding website, then you should definitely buy yourself a one-step. Use that code, by the way, because it's insane. And of course, by all means, go and trade your system and make money, but I want to make it clear that when we look at these competitions, we are doing it from the fairest possible way that we can. We look at everything. We look at the wins, the losses, how it looks overall. What did the trades actually look like, right? How does the equity curve look? Are there good losses? Does this trader know how to actually take losses and manage the risk? Because if the answer is yes, then great, right? They're set. And here's an example, right? So I believe this example right here was Jiggy. Because I went and I took a photo of this. I'm going to show you guys. So Jiggy right here, you can see I took a photo of this right here, which is just the profit of each trade that he took, shown overall. And what do you see? Well, when I look at this, I see a trader that once again takes that takes losses. The first trade he took was actually a clean loss. And the loss wasn't large. It wasn't out of the world, out of the ordinary. It was simply a loss that was around minus 2K, and that's fine. His next trade looked like it was a managed break even. His next trade looks like it was a tiny profit managed break even, maybe managed break even. And then he got the 2 smaller wins. And the smaller wins already are bigger than the loss that he took, and together they're much bigger, which means that already just with this amount of space, I can see a trader that has, for the most part, a profitable system and a good risk management understanding of his own system, and he's actually able to execute it, right? And then what do we keep seeing as we continue? We don't see out of the ordinary losses, right? Look at the losses. The losses are capped to around that $2,000 to $3,000 mark. 2,000, 1.6, 300, 100, 2,000, 2,000, and once again, big win, right? So already just by looking at this, you can tell his curve is going to look like this. It's going to be some losses here and there, some break evens, some losses, some smaller wins, some losses, some break evens, some small wins, some losses, some break evens, big wins, right? So overall, no matter what, right, I know that over time, this trader's curve is going to look something like this. And then he's probably going to go into more drawdown, take loss, 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 win, loss, loss, break even, big win, loss, loss, win, right? But over time, all his curve is going to do is increase in value, because he has demonstrated that he's able to have the downside protected no matter what, while having the upside available to do anything. This is the psychological makeup of a really good trader, right? 9K gain, 9K gain, minus 2K, minus 2K, 6K gain, 9K gain, minus 2K, 4K, minus 3K, minus 2.5, minus 2.5, minus 3K. This is beautiful, minus 2.5, minus 2.5, minus 3, minus 2.5, right? This is indicative of someone who is nonstop taking these positions that have clean downside and potential upside. This is beautiful, and this is an example of what a winner could look like. This is why I would say this is something that's approved, because he has wins, he has the losses, and they're clean, and they're honestly clean all the way up until here, right? He didn't have to take all these other trades, and he could have still won. And then I have another example here. I forgot which one this was exactly. Just because, I just took a photo. It might have been number 2. I think it was this number 2 right here, for Sarab Dawes. So I'm sorry, but you may have lost your chance to get an account this week, this month, but I'll show you why. Right, when we look at this, what do you see? Well, I see huge gain, so that's fine. Decent gain, huge gain, huge gain, huge gain, decent gain, right? I see huge profits, that's fine. Then I see a trade, this is all one trade basically is the way you have to think about this, that takes a small loss. Okay, that's kind of good. Then another, that's a pretty good loss, right? Like he's taking small losses, this was good. And then I saw this. right? So that's 10K, that's a $10,000 loss. On a 200K account, or a little bit higher because he won some trades, on a $200,000 account, this is around like a 5% loss in one go, right? That is, in my opinion, at least as a trader, absurd. That is an inconsistency to the rules, right? So what I see when I see that is like, there's a chance that this guy goes on 3 losses and he's lost potentially 15+% of his account. That is a scary thing to work with. That is a hard thing to analyze. So this is an example of something where if this trader simply halved his risk across the board and had maybe like, or even a third, and had like a 5K gain, a 1K gain, a 4K gain, a 2K gain, a 4K gain, a 1.5K gain, a minus $500 loss, a minus $500 loss, a minus 4K loss, which is still pretty big, but much smaller. This would make a lot more sense in reference to the account size. But because it's so drastic, what it leads me to believe is that this trader will take losses as big as the wins that he takes. And what that means is when he has really good times, he's going to make a fuck ton of money. He's going to look amazing. But when he has really bad times, he's going to lose a bunch of money, even more money than that the account can hold. And he's going to go into huge drawdown, huge negative, and lose the account altogether, right? And that's not what we want to see. So with that in mind, that's what leads us to how we look at some of these actual trades and what the traders actually did and what they look like, right? So when I look at Jiggy here and I see that he's traded throughout the life cycle of the account, with some days that he didn't trade at all, across what appears to be multiple potential assets with profits per trade that reflect good wins, good break-evens, good management, and protect the downside, this is how quickly I can go, this is a good trader. Clearly, this is a winner in reference to the fact that this is kind of meeting the competition thing. So that is how we decide that Jiggy, for instance, has a win or takes a win right then and here, right? Then when we go to rank 2, you can see like it actually looks relatively good, right? Like the curve is kind of good. The curve in its own is good. But when we look at number 2, what do we see? We see that, we see that lack in how are losses actually taken. This is that exact photo. There are those nice wins and it looks clean and the drawdowns are clean and there's time between them, right? And he traded only the first like 10 days of the competition, which could be okay, but is more indicative of I'm going to take large trades, I'm going to hit big, and if it works, it works, right? So because of that reason, where this trader could have literally just reduced risk and won the entire trade, we have to skip it. But most importantly, notice how in reality, right, like most of these people actually end up getting disqualified anyway, right? So remember like what I said a second ago, which is that if you really pay attention to let's go to the results here. If you really pay attention to the new member competition results, right, you can see we started with Jiggy. That's this guy right here. Right, if you can see that, there we go. It's Jiggy, it's number 9. So that means all of these guys basically had risk that was way over the top, had trades that way exceeded what we were looking for in terms of the competition. So it's a reminder that just because you see people on the leaderboard doesn't mean you need to start taking huge risk for no reason. Simply follow your rules, simply follow the good losses, and you can stand a chance to win with even a small percent gain. Now Jiggy, you can see here, did make 24.39%, so he actually made a good amount of money. This is insane. This is almost double what we asked for from the evaluation, so you could have passed like 2 accounts in this month, right? But notice as we go through this what the last places are going to be, right, in terms of account gain. So let's continue from here, and maybe I'll pause and show this, but this is an example of someone that wouldn't now pass due to the fact, so number 2 here, due to the things that we described just before, right? Rank 3, same thing. If we go into here and we look at rank 3 or the potential for rank 3, what do we see? Right, so once again, I see someone that has traded a lot of GU, AU, AUD USD, traded what it looks like throughout the life cycle of the account. You can see he traded a lot. Maybe he's running an EA or something, but either way, traded a lot. What did the profits kind of look like, right? So small, 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 small. Everything's kind of small here, but there are good losses, good wins, good wins, good wins. Like small wins, small wins, small wins, small losses. This is really good. The wins are bigger than the losses. So even though a lot of these are grouped, that's okay in this specific case because everything actually appears to be kind of clean. Small losses, good wins, small losses, good wins. Like, this is great. This is a trader that just wins because, again, well, over the course of the over the course of the time, you can see that he went through multiple periods of drawdown, did completely fine, and this is another example of someone that will now be a winner, right? This will be number 2. And this is simply the way that we go through this. Here's rank 4. This is someone that took less trades, but let's take a look. Maybe it's still completely acceptable and is going to be fine. So rank 4 here, we have someone trading gold, started trading in the midpoint of the month and traded for a good amount of days, maybe around 10 days, nothing wrong with that. And if we look at the profits here, makes a 9K profit, makes an 8K profit, small loss, small loss, small loss, small win. This actually looks really good. Some break evens, small wins, takes a bigger loss here, about minus 4K, but acceptable given that overall, it seems like his gains are around, let's actually take a look at this mathematically, right? His gains seem to always be around 1 to 5K. So we can say his gains are around 2.5K on average. And he has a win rate of around 57%. So looking at this, 2.5K, and then some of his losses can go up to 4K. I think overall, looking at this, due to the overall management on the account, he took like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 losses. So what I would say is that minus 4K is a little bit out of the ordinary. I'd be very careful with that. I don't like seeing super large drawdown like that, but overall I think it makes sense, and I think overall it actually looks really good, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this exact process, get to the top 12, because I don't want to make you guys watch me do this over and over and over again. And we're going to see where some of the last places were in terms of what their account gain percent was. So you know that making a big account percent gain is not what trading actually is about. So I'll see you guys in 1 sec. All right, guys, and just like that, we've completed the full thing. You can see we actually went down all the way to rank 24 to get the 14th place. So congratulations to all the winners. I'm going to scroll through this so you guys can see a quick look, and you can pause if you see your curve for whatever reason and you just want to understand what you can do a little bit better. I really like this curve, by the way. This looked beautiful to me. Beautiful times where he takes wins, goes through nice losses and drawdown. You can see, just wins to lose, and this is beautiful because you can tell this is profitability over time. Yeah, just absolutely beautiful. Love to see it. So what we can look at now is, if you look at the last place here, number 14, that's ranked 24 in our processing, and rank 24 was actually website ranked 81. This was actually VJ Kumar. So let's go ahead and take a look at this account so you guys can get a better idea of what is required of you in terms of percent return. There you go. This is the trader right in front of you that has just taken the 14th place, and all he did was made a 5.49% return. That means that he literally wouldn't have even passed the Ment Funding evaluation yet, and yet he's winning an account because all he did was follow decently simple enough rules to win. And you can see in this specific case, it's a little bit interesting because he didn't even take that many trades, and yet it was still enough because out the gate, he had risk that was a little bit higher, but he had his loss, he had another decent loss, another decent win, and loss. And simply, this is someone that makes more on his wins than he does on his losses. It's a much smaller number of trades, so that's a little bit, here or there. But again, this met the rules and just scratched by the rules that we actually set, and it's a beautiful representation because even in a time where we said any percentage gain can win, funny enough, the people with absolutely insane percent returns, 123, 80, 77, because of the other rules weren't able to pass, and the guy with a 5% gain actually wins an account. So participate, get a little bit better, and keep doing it over and over and over again. A big reminder that you can also be one of these payouts. A big reminder that based on where you are right now, come and participate in our future or current competitions. You can still join this and you have more than enough time to actually win this, or get yourself an account right now so you can start getting funded, you can start actually making money into the new year. Nonetheless, thank you all so much for watching this, and I will see you all in the next video.